Show.
Now, you've been known to have said, I believe, a leopard doesn't change its spots.
Absolutely.
Okay. How has maturity crept in and made things a lot easier for you in Heaven and Hell, a.k.a. Black Sabbath now?
Well, I think everyone is a lot more wary of it all. I mean, it doesn't mean that leopards are going to change their spots, but it does mean that maybe that leopard can start thinking a little bit about before it adds another spot somewhere. And that's what's happened. I think we wanted this to work. Everyone's included in it. We don't, but it's never been like that anyway. This has been a band like, that's why I love to be in this band right from its inception, because they only cared about each other. They didn't care about, and they want to make good music. It wasn't about, I can have this and I can have it. It was, the prime concern always was about the music. Sure, that changed because, again, the reasons we mentioned, years ago, but it still has its same attitude, its same premise, which is this band is going to be good because we're good and we enjoy it. And now the leopard scenario doesn't really enter into it because everybody is, I think, knows that there's a certain line that you don't cross.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really matter how many spots are there anymore. Okay. And if it does, it does. And it will. Something will happen. I guarantee you that.
Any relationship, you're going to have your high times and you're going to have your valley times.
Of course. And let's face it, relationships only really work for the first couple of years. Well, think about it. I can't think of anybody who's married who goes, third year, well, that was it. Wow, it was great. 4, 5.
Last time I interviewed you, I had been in a relationship with a girl for almost 7 years, in love.
Yeah, of course. That's why they last, that's why the suffering lasts as long as it does. Because you are in love and you refuse to let the grasp go. That's just the way it is. And it's certainly one party or the other is going to be so fixated by it that they're never going to let it go. Or when they do, it becomes a stalker situation, or thank God I'm out of that relationship, and then you start thinking about it. But that's just the way it is. So after a couple of years, these things all fall apart. So, but what's good is that the couple of years of productivity is well worth, the pain that comes after it.
So far, what has been the most satisfying acknowledgement of your music from the public?
I could never point to one thing. It would, for me, have to be blanketly the acceptance that I've gotten for being just a person who's got some talent, and that has been given to me all of my life. I'm like one of those athletes, I never realized it, before, but I'm really into athletics, by the way, and I always equated myself with that, but I never realized before in thinking that the gifted athlete is always put upon a pedestal, is always going to be from the earliest age put on a little velvet pillow. And you can have this, and that's what happened to me. Really did. Because at the end of the day, I had this immense talent that I'm not patting myself on the back for, but it just happened to be there, good for me. And it was always pat on the back. Wow, you'll be this, you'll be that, or you'll be this for me, and you'll do this for me, which is usually what happens with someone who is as innocent and as naive as I usually always have been as a person, because I'm pretty innocent and naive, and I am naive. I don't think anybody's out trying to screw me. After all these years, after being stabbed in the back all these times, I still think that it wasn't a knife. They were just trying to swat a fly off my back.
Okay, how would Dio define the word love?
Oh God, I don't know. It would be just, knowing me, it would probably be about 7 or 8 giant paragraphs of descriptive nonsense. Well, I could only, because I am pragmatic, I would say just what it is. It's just one of the most severe emotions that has been built into and programmed into the human, the human system, I guess, the human system. It's up there with hate, and it's there with fear. So I couldn't say it's the most strongest of the emotions, but it is the emotion that has been placed there so that we procreate, obviously. But along the way, it did something to the mind. It wasn't like it went, okay, time to have a good one, make some children. It went, nah, you're going to have to suffer a whole lot before you get to that fucking point, buddy. So, love to me is just one of the, however many numbers there are, probably 5 or 6 of the strongest emotions that there are, and something to both beware and to embrace. I couldn't give you any explanation as to what I feel love is. I really couldn't. It's just too deep.
What brings Ronnie James Dio the most peace in his life right now?
My animals. I always get the most peace from my animals. Animals don't ask anything from you but unrequited love. Well, just don't hurt me and just love me, and I'll give you everything back. And I don't want anything from you but that. It gives me the most peace, my animals. Without them, I don't know. I wouldn't think I would have any peace at all, because I'm always thinking, always writing, and always, my brain just never stops. But with them, my brain stops, and I just play with them. And I'll look at this. They just want to hug me and, snuggle up against me. And it's great. No, then I can get on and lead my life. But I need that kind of a balance in my life, and that's the balance that gives me peace. The other things don't give me peace. Writing doesn't give me peace, because there's always some place for it to go. It wasn't good enough. It never is good enough. I'm always thinking about it. That's why I don't listen to what I've done in the past. I listen to it and go, why did I do that? I know I should have done that. So there's no peace in creation for me. Creation is a real, real hard part of my life. So the peace is when that creation's over and I can just hang out with my cats.
Well, Rob Halford once told me, once he gets off stage, after he's rocked an audience, that there's a certain peace that he feels. Do you have that when you rock an audience and you get off?
I would if I didn't have to go and sign 10 million autographs afterward, or do 15,000 interviews, or go and talk to somebody else that I don't want to talk to after I've just worked my butt off, or after I've had to do that all afternoon, or maybe I've done it before the gig and I've only wanted to be there to do one thing, and that's just to be great for an audience. So no, I don't get any peace after that. No, there is no peace for me after that. After that, somebody always wants a piece of me. Maybe he's got some magic formula, or maybe he's, we just got off the road with Rob, and he seemed to, do the same as I do. He's there doing it as well. So if he's getting peace from that, God bless you. But no, the only peace I get is when I'm home with my animals.
What kind of animals do you have, Ronnie?
I've always had dogs and cats. I got cats now. My last dog was a Newfoundland, big 180-pounder.
Do you like pugs?
I like all dogs. Yeah. I have nothing against any animal. Animals only, like I said, only want respect. You give them respect. You're the leader of the pack. You got no problem. Dog Whisperers were the best programs on the face of the earth. I mean, that guy's got it down. If people could only deal with their lives that way, boy, what an easy world this would be. But when it comes to animals, I'm just happy to have any animal, because they don't ask anything of me except unrequited love, and that's good.
We wish you a metal Christmas. Ronnie, you got a super group here, because it's Tony Iommi on guitar, Rudy Sarzo on bass, and Simon Wright on drums, and you're doing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Now, I heard that you had to be prodded to do this song. Now, tell me about it.
Browbeaten, I think is a word, isn't it? Prodded, that was a nice word, right? Yeah, well, Wendy Dio has put this album together, and done a marvelous job, I must add. And she posed to me what she was about to do, and I said, don't include me in this. I don't do Christmas songs. Oh, okay. All right. So it went on for about a month or so. Fine. How's the album going? Good. This person's doing it. Great, good. Thank God I lucked out of this one. No, you got to sing on it. Well, why? You've got all these great people. No, we need you. You got to do it. I told you I'm not going to do it. Got to do it. You're never going to talk to me again if I don't do it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, no, I knew she needed me to do it. I thought I could get away without it. I said, if it comes to the point where you need me to do it, absolutely need me to do it, I'll do it. Of course I will. I'll do it for you. But a long time I'm buying punch, you got to do it for me. Okay. And so I did. And then I was lucky enough to be able to choose a song for me and then change its tempo and make it a good song. Because initially it was, don't do that. Don't you understand? I'm either not going to do this or I'm going to do this the right way. So we did. Bob Kulick, who did the arrangements, did a great job with the arrangement for the song. But then Tony went in and did it his own way and played it himself too. So the tempo made such a great difference, and it just worked for me. And luckily, it was Rudy and Cy and Tony. And I think it's, I don't mean to be blowing my own horn or their horns, but I think it's the best song on the album. I think it's great. There's some good ones on there too, but I think it's certainly one of the best.
We listened to it. It is very haunting.
It's so heavy. That solo on it. Tony I think he just blows everybody away.
Exactly.
Really
I'm hearing something completely new coming out of his guitar playing.
You do.
This.
That's right.
Yes.
Absolutely right. Yep. He's just gotten so much better. He's just amazing player now.
Now, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, it is basically a Christian song. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a Christmas song, but it's very bold about Christ coming down to save the world and so on. And I noticed you embody that very well. What is the secret of being able to, not necessarily believing in those precepts maybe, but at the same time being able to put yourself into a song and make it believable?
Well, you have to examine what's being said. I mean, the purpose of it having lyrics was so that it could come alive via the singer, not just the singer singing notes that he or she, we're looking so far up there behind with, because what happens with a lot of singers, I love my note, ooh, well, your note sucks, mate, and it didn't say anything, So if the song says something, you deal with it. It's going back to what Carey did with his song. I examined what his lyrics were, and obviously got inside of them and knew what they were supposed to be, what words were supposed to be, have strong emphasis, and what ones didn't have to be. That's what you're supposed to do as an artist, and that's what I did. So with this song, the same as all the other songs I've done that I did not write, I put myself into the middle of it and tried to give it some emotion, and believable emotion on the part of the person who was singing, because that's where the translation is going to come. So I just did what I always do. I just looked at it and sang it.
American Idol. Tell me what you think about that.
It should be blown off the face of the earth is what it should happen to that.
Tell me why.
Well, because they should call it American karaoke. That's all it is. I mean, what about the people who are out there suffering, who've been out there paying to play and doing all these other things, and these people come in and they copy every other artist that there is, and some of them do a passable job of it. Well, that's really original, isn't it? I come from the school where the things that make sense are the things that Pink Floyd gave to me, because I never heard anything like that before, or what Queen gave to me, or Purple gave to me, or Zeppelin gave to me, or all the greats I can mention, from the Kinks to the Hollies, things I'd never heard before, especially the Beatles. These are the things I want to hear. I don't want someone to go up there and sing somebody else's song and you tell me how good they are, especially people I don't admire. I mean, Paula Abdul, you're going to tell me I have to listen to what you got to say as a judge? Sorry, I got not much time for you. I just think they're just hot air. I think the only guy I have any time for is Simon, because at least he tells the truth. I don't agree with what he says, and I think he's too damn cruel, and he hurts too many people. But at least he said, well, I listen to him and go, yep, you're right, that sucked. Why does it have to be so correct? If you want to be on this program, then tell them they suck. Well, because it's just what it is. It's a program. It's been made up. They've been told what to say. The conclusions are already pretty much made at the end of the day. So I got no time for that. That or America's Got Talent, or whatever the other ones are that that do the same thing. Country stars. Well, where are your credentials? Sorry, your credentials are not wearing a hat and playing a guitar and having a fiddle behind you. That doesn't do the trick for me. The trick does for me is what Keith Urban does, or what Willie and those guys Nelson, did. Those guys who had to come up, or Waylon. I mean, those are the guys, or Ferlin Husky, or if you're talking strictly country. I mean, Roy Clark, all of them. These guys, they did what I did. They had to play all these places. You had to have beers thrown at you and be beat up, and and all that stuff. That's what makes it not go into the program. And sure, I know these kids have traumas. Of course they do. This is their whole life, but their whole life is so that they can be like this person that they idolized. I didn't want to do this for that reason. I didn't want to do it because I wanted to be Robert Plant. I did it because I wanted to be able to create what Ronnie Dio could do with other people, and not with Jimmy Page, and not with John Paul Jones, and not with John Bonham. Although I would have loved to have had that chance too, but I just don't find that about these kind of reality judging programs. I just don't believe in it, because I don't believe in the judges for a start. I wouldn't even believe in me if it was me saying it. I would believe in me. I'd probably tell the truth, all the way down the line, but I'm not there, and I'm not doing this. And I just think it's just so blown out of proportion. When there are programs that examine what American Idol was all about 2 days ago, and there's a half-an-hour program about reviewing American Idol. I mean, come on. People are starving out there. There's, people are dying in Iraq, Afghanistan. The economy's blowing up in our faces, and we're watching this crap. I'm sorry, I got no time for it. So the question was, how do you like American Idol? I don't, and I think we should let's get some more History Channel programs on, some more Discovery Channel programs on there, or some more health programs, or more programs to not let us kill our animals for no reason.
In most of these reality shows, there's a Lord of Flies mentality created, where it's everybody against everybody. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that, and how do you feel that we're going to suffer down the road because of this?
Well, I don't know if American Idol, I don't know if it's important enough that it will be a determining factor in how our world carries on. I don't think it will be. I'd like to think that if it were, then it's time to check out of this world, because if that's what we're going to, that's a criteria we're going to judge ourselves upon, something desperately, desperately wrong there. I think the reality shows in general are certainly narcissistic, but let's face it, this is the MySpace generation, isn't it? And you can't really get much more narcissistic than MySpace. I'm putting this up because I want you to pay attention to me. Well, I don't want to pay attention to you. I don't go to MySpace, and I never will, and I don't want any part of it. I don't, and obviously I don't need to do that. But should I have needed to do that and didn't have a career like this, I wouldn't have done it because, I think that it has become this narcissistic place that perhaps spawned by reality shows like the one where they all live in a house too, whatever those things are. Or Survivor. All the things that started that way are incredibly narcissistic, and it's down to that 5 minutes of fame thing, really, isn't it? Yeah. Except so many of them are getting more than 5 minutes. It's getting sickening. All you have to do is be on television for any length of time, and you will become a star. That's just the reality of the world. It doesn't matter what you are. What's his name? William Hung was a great example of that. People who can't. And then again, there are some great ones. Fantasia, a great singer. That girl's great. But she had to be probably surrounded by all the bad singers around her to be really viewed that good. The other one was good too. The blonde girl, the first one, Carrie. Was it? No, not Carrie.
Oh no.
She was good. She was a good singer, that girl.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they had a lot of competition, and they all sang the same anyway. They all just copy what everybody else does. If you're not Mariah Carey, then you're somebody else, aren't you? How many turns can you make in this one note? I've heard that before. I heard Faith Hill sing that way. Oh wait, hold on. I heard Pink sing that way. And again, it's down to me. They're not showing me anything that is new that's going to change the face of the earth, and that's what it should be about. Let's make changes.
You're working on a biography right now. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Well, it's just from my early life, from starting when I was 5 years old, the very first day that I was told I was going to play an instrument, to my day now. And I'm probably about a third through that now. I'm probably somewhere in the very beginnings of Rainbow. And by the time I get ready to finish it, I'll be in the throes of something else, and I'll only be a quarter of the way through, because all these things keep coming up and happening to me. But it's not a tell-all book. It never will be. It doesn't say bad things about anybody. It's just about the funny experiences that have happened in making this career, the people I've come up with, what they're all about, but none of them in a bad way. I think it's about the things that you want to hear about your heroes, about your people who could have feet of clay, but I'm not about to do that. I think that's a very such a counterproductive attitude. My life has been so much fun, and so many funny things have happened, and so many fun things. I want to share that with people. I don't want to share the bad things. Of course, there are a few things. People die, people aren't here anymore, and those are the bad things. But I try not to dwell upon them and make them the most important thing that happened. Just keep the memories in your heart, and maybe this is one way to help those memories stay alive. But it's just a fun book. It's going to be fun and interesting, I think. It kills me. I read it and go, wow, that's just great. I really enjoy it. And I write everything with a pencil. I don't type anything. I find that all my emotions and all my feelings just rush through me when it comes down the arm, down to the pencil, and I can edit right away. And I edit as I go along, and I don't think it needs any editing. I wouldn't like to think I'm that big-headed to think that an editor wouldn't do a better job than just me, so I'm certainly going to give it to an editor. But it's pretty well in place. A few mistakes here and there. I'm sure that there always will be, and I'm a stickler for things like syntax and, proper spellings, and all of those things really bother me. I listen to the radio and I hear people mispronounce things. I want to just kill myself. There's this one girl who does that on local radio, because I'm a sports radio listener, and she's always pronouncing the word center, which is pronounced center, not center, center. It's center. It's not center. But you know what? It's also not Orange County. It's Orange County. So if you're going to go to the trouble to pronounce center, get that T in there, then why can you not pronounce Los Angeles County or Orange County? Why is it county? No, it's not, idiot. That bothers me. My day starts on a bad note every single day when the same person says the same thing, and I want to get on the phone and call them up and go, why don't you hire somebody who's got a brain? After all, there's supposed to be someone teaching our kids this language. What about your teachers? What are they teaching them? They're obviously saying county too, aren't they? And I think to myself, you're never going to change the world, but it pisses me off. And so that's where I come from as far as this book goes. It's going to have to be right, and if there's a mistake in there, I'll go buy all the copies and burn them and reprint it.
Do you know Kerry Kelly? He tours as the touring guitar player in Alice Cooper's band.
I remember Kerry now. He's a great person. We had a good time. We really did. Because, like I said, I'm just a regular person. And we just talked about regular things. I don't come off like... And Alice is like that. Alice is a great guy. He's like me. He doesn't have any pretense about himself. I'm Pete,
Yeah.
It's my real name, but call me Alice if you want.
For him to be able to hang out with you on the tour was just amazing.
Yeah, I remember Kerry. Now, I don't remember his last name. That's why. Yeah. Well, Chuck, of course. Chuck Garrick, played with me for a while, and he's like his musical director now. That's like this light of his life to do. Well, he's always had great guys in his band. Eric's a great guy, and all the people he's had have been. Roxy. I don't think Roxy plays with him anymore. Roxy, the other guitar player. No. I don't think he does. But he's got great people. Yeah, great people.
Ronnie, it's been great having you on the Blairing Out Show.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to do it with you again.
Thank you. You are the man.
Thanks, buddy.
On the Silver Mountain.
The Blairing Out Show.